So in this game, you're a teenager. Your body is still growing, your decision-making skills are underdeveloped, and you smell kinda bad. Oh, and also, you just became an NBA player. All of a sudden, you have a job that pays you millions of dollars to play basketball on television. Your objective? Buckets. The goal of this game is to score 1,000 career points before you reach the age of 20. The younger you are when you reach 1,000, the higher your score. As of 2019, 7 players have beaten this game. Let's look at who did it first, who did it best, and what those guys have in common. Now, one important qualifier to start with is that since 2006, NBA draft picks have to turn at least 19 during their draft year and be 1 year removed from high school. That means recent high-scoring youngsters were at a disadvantage, like Kevin Durant. Instead of entering the NBA in 2006 and probably being top picks in that year's draft, elite high school prospects like Durant and Greg Oden each had to spend a year in college. When the Portland Trailblazers picked Oden number 1 in 2007, Durant fell to the Sonics. The big guy missed his whole rookie season because of knee surgery, the beginning of a brief, sad career. Durant, meanwhile, got to work scoring. He didn't have any other choice, and therein lies an important tip for beating this game. Just get drafted by a shitty team. The NBA's lottery system usually puts the best prospects on the worst teams, and this was definitely the case for Durant in Seattle, with the best alternatives being Chris Wilcox, Wally Szczerbiak, and fellow rookie Jeff Green. Durant had a green light to shoot as much as he wanted. Kevin could not legally drink, but he was by far the best scoring option on a professional basketball team. Here's Durant's first ever professional point, the first of 18 he scored in a debut that showed off the range and smoothness that would make him very rich and successful. And from there, KD kept pouring it on at a rate of over 20 points a game. By February 22, 2008, when he was 19 years and 146 days old, Durant recorded his 1,000th point. Doing so against the Blazers was particularly cruel. So yeah, when you're a prodigy and your team sucks, even the age limit can't stop you from hitting 1K before you turn 20. And that follows at least somewhat for the 2 teens to hit that mark since Durant. Devin Booker debuted 2 days before he turned 19 and he came out hooping. But the Phoenix Suns started the season thinking they might be headed somewhere. The teenager came off the bench and even sat through some DNPs while coach Jeff Hornacek put the ball in the hands of Eric Bledsoe and Brandon Knight. But then the Suns lost a bunch and suffered injuries, Hornacek got fired, and all of a sudden, this sweet-cheeked baby was the face of the team, pouring in almost 20 points a night after the All-Star break, and by April, he'd rallied to 1,000. A couple years later, another precocious neophyte, Luka Doncic, scored even more, even faster than Booker for the mediocre Dallas Mavericks. He reached 1,000 in the midst of a 35-point performance in February of his rookie year. But Doncic had already been 19 years old for a while when he debuted against Booker and the Suns, so he snuck in his 1,000th point just before turning 20. That's how it goes with the age limit, but what about the high-scoring teens who entered the NBA pre-2006? When Kobe Bryant debuted for the Lakers in November 1996, he became the youngest player ever to participate in an NBA game.
18 years and 2 months, too.
Yeah, that makes him the youngest player to perform in the NBA.
He's still third all-time in that ranking, with only Jermaine O'Neal and Andrew Bynum having debuted earlier in their lives. But Kobe stands out in a few ways. He's different from teen rookies like Booker and Doncic in that he joined a pretty good roster. The Lakers team that acquired him on draft night was coming off 53 wins and a playoff berth, and in the same summer LA got Kobe, they added Shaq. And yet Kobe also stands apart from these babies in that he was a genuine rotation player as an 18-year-old. Bryant only averaged 8 points a game as a rookie and didn't hit 1,000 until December of his sophomore season. But he started so damn young that he'd only lived 19 years and 127 days by this point. So yeah, coming straight out of high school affords you a head start. Even at his peak, Dwight Howard was never a mega volume scorer like Kobe, but he entered the league as a brace-faced 18-year-old. Dwight reached 1,000 points thunderously, but gradually, averaging 12 points a game as a rookie, but he still fit all those points before his 20th birthday. Contrast that with Carmelo Anthony. Even in the pre-age limit era, Anthony played a year of college ball, made the most of it too. So Melo was already well past his 19th birthday when he debuted, but unlike Dwight and Kobe, the young Nugget produced copious buckets immediately, averaging 21 points a game as a rookie. He was that good, that fast. Anthony had his first 30-point scoring night in his 6th game. It took him just 53 games to reach 1,000, months before his 20th birthday. So one can conclude from the experiences of these 6 guys, the best ways to score 1,000 points before age 20 are to join a weak team that depends on you to produce, score a lot really fast, or just enter the league extremely young, which became impossible after 2006. Each of these guys checked at least one of those boxes. LeBron James checked all of them. LeBron entered the NBA to unprecedented hype. The 18-year-old was so obviously the #1 pick that the Cavaliers announced they were taking him literally the same day they won the lottery. And of course, you don't win the lottery without losing some games. The roster James joined was horrible, and they'd gone 17-65 the prior season. But that didn't necessarily mean LeBron would take over right away. Asked before the lottery about the prospect of adding LeBron, the Cavs didn't sound enthusiastic about handing the reins over to a kid.
We have better players than him in his position already on our team, bro. He can just hop on our bandwagon.
When LeBron did finally suit up, he had to share primary offensive duties with this man, this hero, this absolute icon, Ricky Davis. Davis had sort of a breakout 02-03 season for that awful Cavs team, though it is perhaps most remembered for the notorious time he intentionally missed a shot on the wrong basket to try and get his 10th rebound for a triple-double. We love it. We just love it. Cleveland's incumbent leading scorer didn't battle his new co-star, but neither did he just hand over the ball. Things weren't going well for the Cavs. James averaged under 18 points in his first 23 games as a Cavalier, a pace that still would have made him the youngest 1,000-point scorer ever, but slower than what was about to come. In mid-December of 03, the Cavs traded Davis to the Celtics, seeking to supplement their budding star more with defensive players than with a ball-dominant scorer. The new Celtic was clear that he'd been surprised by LeBron superseding him, that he thought the rookie was just going to be another addition to help him score. With Davis gone, James dialed up the buckets, averaging well over 20 points the rest of the way. By February 9th, 2004, just a month and change after his 19th birthday, LeBron was within arm's reach of 1,000 points. Cleveland's opponent that night? Ricky Davis and the Celtics. Davis had said some unkind things about the Cavs since the trade, and in his return to Cleveland, he got booed. Then he watched Moondog the mascot use his jersey as a mop. Then he watched the kid who usurped his role reach career point number 1,000 at 19 years and 41 days old. All of this in the Cavaliers' victory. And as you may have heard, the kid didn't slow down as he aged. LeBron was the youngest player ever to score 5,000 career points, doing so in the course of a 51-point game in 2006.
51 LeBron as he connects twice from the line.
He reached 10,000 points at 23 years and 59 days old, crossing that checkpoint with a big transition dunk.
Milestone for LeBron James, youngest player ever to reach 10,000 career points.
He was the youngest to 15,000 and 20.
James hit it! The youngest in NBA history with 20,000 career points.
And 25.
25,001 for LeBron James.
And 30.
Was his 30,000 and 30,001.
At this point, we almost take for granted how exceptional LeBron is and has been from the start. It helps to remember just how much hype he had coming in and just how swiftly he justified it. This high score is one fantastic way to measure that. Of course, we mustn't forget that LeBron had some built-in advantages in setting such a record. Unlike these guys, he entered the NBA before the age limit. Unlike Carmelo Anthony, he skipped college. And unlike Kobe and Dwight, he joined a team that desperately needed his scoring and even made a trade to accommodate more of it. Really, all these high scorers are impressive. I don't know what you were up to as a teenager, but I certainly wasn't doing anything as cool as scoring 1,000 NBA points. I had done like a little bit of kissing. Thanks for watching High Score, friends. There are more episodes of the show right here, or if you want some more LeBron content, check out this episode of Rewinder.